Greetings, unsettled souls. Sam Di Gangi doing political commentary for the Media Speaks. I don't know how many of you know that I do postings for Lasting News and WitsNews, even after Facebook basically robbed Argus Media, the conservative Daily Post, and Teddy Stick where I worked. I still do write, and I am freelancing quite often for Blasting News and WitsNews. There is a new article up that is a review of the Christmas Carol that is on, it's linked in the description of this video. And it's also on my Facebook page, Samuel Di Gangi, Digangi. Hello, listeners coming in. Nice to see you. And there is an interesting, for those of you that like the political side, of which is what I normally do, of course, there is an article on WitsNews, WITSNEWS, that talks about whether or not socialism is called for in the story of A Christmas Carol. A lot of people think that it is, and we take a very in-depth look at it. So make sure you click both of those links and let me know which article you like better. All right, so on to today's topic with the 9th of the 12 days of Christmas. I went to church today. No, it didn't fall in. I do think it wobbled a little bit. The foundation may have been a little sketchy, but it stood. And a gentleman asked me if my car had been found yet. Hello, Michael John Patrick. I said no, my stolen car, along with the $800-some-odd and Sonic TS12 keyboard that was in it, which has screwed up everything my band is doing now, have not been found. And he said something very telling to me. I think a lot of people don't think about this on a day-to-day basis, so I was going to bring it up, particularly if you're dealing with a large number of people and you have like a certain amount of humbuggery from a certain number of people. This was an interesting assessment that this gentleman said. He and his wife have gotten to know me a little bit, and I talked about some of the weird things that have happened during the last 14 months. Have been just dreadful. There have been some bright points, but it has been, for the most part, pretty dreadful. And he said, yeah, my wife and I have been through a number of times like that in our life. And she's like, yeah, we've really had to battle through some things just like that. Things always get better. And, you know, the uplifting message that you would hope to get at church from someone. But the first part of that really struck me. Here's why. I think it's very common for people to miss someone when something really wonderful happens. For instance, I am a member now of Green Jello, and anytime I can make it to the show, I'm welcome to play keyboards with that band. That's an international band. That might be one of the most popular comedy metal bands of all time, if not the most popular comedy metal band of all time. All right, Ghost is really funny. They're terrible. They're not meant to be funny. Never miss a chance to stab Ghost. But anyway, all jokes aside, Green Jello, I think, is probably, you know, the pinnacle of that kind of comedy metal thing. Hello, Marvin. As it goes on here, I noticed I missed having people to share that with. A lot of the people in my family have passed on due to the way that our record deal went with the last incarnation of the band prior to John and Chris being part of it. That made a lot of people that I was close to all not talk to each other anymore. We don't hate each other. Things just aren't the same. I'm not going to get into it, but suffice to say, we've all been through things like that. And you just notice after a while that even when really good things happen to you, there's an emptiness there. You're missing something because you don't have someone to share it with. We don't often think about that, however, and that was what was. This is what was brought to the forefront of my mind at church today. Was that when we're going through something horrible and we feel like maybe we're bringing the other people around us down. For instance, let's say that we're married and joblessness hits, and you feel like you're an anchor to your family. We don't often think about what it would be like if the significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, different family members, if they're not there during that time, that's its own its own mental problem, if you will, because getting through those times in a person's life is made incredible. I mean, it's the first thing this couple said was that when these kinds of things struck them, was that they got through it together. It was the first thing they said, even before they started talking about the blessings that come from God, and that John agrees. Even if it comes that kind of thing,